Alrighty, welcome to the Unleashed and Unstoppable show. My name is Todd Pierce.
My name's Dean Martins. Number 5, right?
Number 5, episode 5. It's episode 5.
Hey.
Gosh, if you've been following us along this path all the way here right now, thank you so much for joining us once again.
Thank you.
Apologies for not having one last week. We've just wrapped up a master practitioner training in NLP, timeline therapy, and also hypnotherapy. Trained a whole heap of new students to go out there and actually be coaches and have a coaching business, helping people overcome various issues. And here we are now. So in the spirit of Christmas time, obviously it's almost Christmas time, and look, you're a PT, you've been a PT for a long time, we've been coaching for a long time. There's a consistent theme that most people have at this time of the year, every single year, all the fucking time, which is they have this thing, right? It's like this magical, mystical thing called...
New Year, New You.
That's right. New Year, New Me. New Year's, New You. It's a New Year's resolution. However, studies suggest that most people set New Year's resolutions, New Year's goals, and do not achieve them. In fact, the data is quite substantial, pointing to that most people that set their goals at the new year fail. Yeah, they say they're going to stop this habit, start this one here. They're going to go to the gym. They're going to stop smoking. They're going to quit drinking. They're going to whatever it is. Right? Most people miss the mark massively. So I think, obviously, just because obviously the time of the year and because we like to help people achieve their goals, we're going to do a quick little podcast today, and it's going to be short. Our goal today is actually brevity. Our goal is to do one within 15 to 20 minutes. So, yeah, I know it's a bold statement, but we'll do our best. So, in our one-day 7-hour event, we talk about a planning and goal achieving method that I like to use called P.P.E. So I want to go through that today because I think, P.P.E, personal protective equipment.
Yeah, is that it? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, high vis.
Yes. Stay safe.
No, it's not. It's something different. I'll tell you about it in a second. But like at the end of the day, I think most people, when they think about setting and achieving goals, there's a number of components to how we do fail to achieve our goals. There's obviously an emotional component. There's definitely a psychological component, but there's also the component of not having the right method or methodology from getting from where they are to where they want to be. So in today's podcast, really briefly, in 3 steps, I want to teach you exactly what you need to do to have the right methodology to go from here to where you are. Okay, we'll briefly touch on some of the emotional and psychological components because at the end of the day, if you can't overcome that initial inertia, then you're not going to get moving anyway. So we'll briefly touch on that, but the main components of today's podcast is P.P.E, which stand for Plan, Prioritize, and Execute. So let's get into those right now. So at the end of the day, when you've got your New Year's resolution, this thing that you want to achieve going into the new year, what most people do, right, is they go into it and they go, all right, I want to achieve this thing. This is my goal. I want to lose this much weight, okay? Let's call it a weight. We always talk about weight for some reason because you're a PT and you always talk about the gym. But to say it comes in, right, and he's got the gym as well, so he comes in, he talks about clients and stuff like that. And so let's talk about weight loss because it is a big one.
Massive.
That's the problem, right? It's a big one.
It is.
So obviously for you to achieve a goal, let's say you set a goal, you say, okay, so for my New Year's resolution, I'm going to drop 15 kilograms. That's massive. Significant, really. It's like, what, 30 pound? I'm going to drop 30 pound. Okay, now for you to do that, you need to have a plan, you need to prioritize your actions, and then you need to execute, right? So when I do planning, this is because like obviously like everything that we've done, we've built in the last 12 months here, it's been on the back of planning, prioritize, and executing because there's lots of things that you can do. This is what's really important, right? Like there's so much you can do. And I think about how is it possible that people don't achieve their goals? Well, number one is that there's an abundance of things you can do. You've got abundance of options, abundance of choices. There's information overload. And the fact is that a brain in doubt always doesn't move. Right? So a brain in doubt, a brain that's confused, a mind that is not clear always will find a way to fail to take action. So that's a big problem. So you have to be clear on what you're going to do, and then you need to make sure you're doing it in the right order as well. So you need to prioritize because it's quite funny. A couple of years back, I had somebody working for me, right? And he had a really, really great habit, right? And I say great habit. It wasn't a great habit as in it did good things. He was just really good at it. Really, really good at being busy but not being productive. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
like I'd come in and see him, right? I would say, "Hey, mate, what have you been up to today? What have you got done?" And he'd be like, "Mate, I've been busy. I've been flat out from 9 a.m. and I've not stopped. And it's 2 p.m. now, mate. I've not even stopped. I haven't even had time to have a good buddy have lunch." I said, "Great. So what have you got done?" And he's like, "Oh, mate, well, it's just been so busy. There's been so many things I can't even begin to say to the stuff that I've done. I've been checking emails. I've been doing this. I've been creating spreadsheets. And it's just like all these things. I'm like, what have you done? That actually moves the needle, right? So plan, prioritize, execute. Anything that you want to do in the new year, understand this, and understand me right, is that if there's a gap, let's talk about things where there's actually a gap, because this is where P.P.E becomes highly effective, right? When you talk about achieving a goal where there's a gap between where you are now and where you want to get to, like stopping smoking, that's you stopping smoking, all right? So there's not necessarily a gap between where you are and where you want to be. It's just like, okay, I make a decision right now, mentally, emotionally, to stop smoking, and then I do it. Right? Now, obviously, there are going to be internal patterns and triggers and things like that you need to overcome if you want to stop smoking completely, which is why doing hypnotherapy, doing some form of coaching that works with the mind can help you stop smoking. But effectively, there's no gap. It's like, cool, I decide, and then I commit, and then boom, it's done. But if you think about something like where there's a gap, like I want to lose 15 kilograms, like you need to plan it out, you need to prioritize your actions, and then you need to execute. All right. So planning, when we do planning, right, in events and in coaching, for me, I like to think about the planning period as the point of time where you go, this is what I want to do. And then you go, okay, what are all the things that make this up, right? Like what am I lacking? What do I need? It's called a gap assessment, right? It's like, what do I have? What do I need? Who can help me? What resources are lacking? What resources can I find? Can I source? Do I have the right skills right now to achieve this outcome? Do I have the right strategy? Do I know how to do it properly? Right? I'm writing this shit all out, right? This is the planning chunk. And if you could imagine, like I'd be writing it down on like this here, because I fucking write everywhere. You should see the office. It's just like writing everywhere. We've got so many different walls that we just write shit on. But like I'll have like 3 columns, and it'll be plan, prioritize, execute. And I'm just doing a brain dump. I'm getting all the things out. I go, this goal. And then I'm just pumping out all the things in that planning. So I'm like, where am I now? Where do I want to get to? What's in between? What do I have? What don't I have? What skills do I need? What skills do I not have? Do I have to do it? What can I outsource? You know, so I start thinking like that. Strategies. Do I know how to do it? Do I have the most up to date? I work with a client a couple of years back, right? And he came and saw me because his business wasn't really making very much money. And I did some very, very easy business coaching with him. And he goes, I just don't understand why I'm not getting any clients anymore. And I said, cool, how do you get clients? He goes, well, mate, I still put an ad up in the newspaper every single weekend. And it used to get me lots of clients all the time. He goes, but now it's just stopping. I said, do you have a Facebook page? He goes, Facebook? I said, do you have any online presence? He goes, oh, yeah. My nephew made me one of them website thingies. So he had no online marketing at all, funneling clients towards him. He was just still chucking things in the newspaper, wondering why people aren't coming anymore. So he was using the wrong strategy. So when you say strategy and you go, okay, cool, do I have the right strategy? You need to make sure that it's actually working, right? And if you don't have the right strategy, and the strategy is all the things, right? Like strategy is how am I going to lose the weight? The strategy is what meal plan am I going to take on board? What exercise regime am I going to take on, right? It's all those things. This is a strategy. How am I going to go and make money if it's a money-making outcome that you have? And what am I going to invest my time, my energy, my effort? What's the strategy? How am I going to do what I'm going to do? The skills is the what. The strategy is the how. So do I have the skills? Do I have the strategies? Next you need to go, okay, cool. Do I have the emotional, I guess, resilience or the emotional fortitude inside to achieve this goal? Okay, let's talk about like you got this weight loss goal, right? There's going to be some ups and there's going to be some downs.
Definitely
and
downs.
Hopefully one of the downs is where the weight on the scales drops down and down and down, right? But that can be emotional. So it's like, okay, so do I have what's needed inside to handle the emotions that are sure to come? If not, who can help me? Who can support me? And this is all in the planning phase, right? People do not plan to fail. They fail to plan. And that's the reason why people fall over. If you can lay out a plan as well as you can, hey, it rhymed. Yes, I can. Sam, I am. I rhyme. I'm a rhyming man. But if you can lay out if you can lay out a plan very, very well and you can do the full gap assessment, what you're going to have is like this full column, right, of all the things that support you achieving this goal. Yeah? And if there are things that you don't know, you're going to find it here. Therefore, you can go and source the things you don't know, i.e., let's say you want to achieve the weight goal, you go find a PT. And they'll tell you the things that you don't know, right? They'll tell you the things that you don't know, and then that all becomes part of the plan as well. Then what you do, right, let's say you've got the plan, and I'm being very, very cognizant of time right now. We want to keep this one sharp. This is a sharp how-to podcast, right? Sharp as a tack.
Which is rare for you.
It is, I know. So you've got the plan laid out, right? You've got all the things that you can and will need to do in this section here. Now, here's the interesting thing, right? There will be things in here that are in the planning section that you won't need to do. And there are going to be things in there that you have to do. Therefore, it's absolutely critical, just like this guy that I was telling you about before, right? I'm so busy. I'm like, but what have you done? Right? You then need to focus your attention and prioritize those things accordingly, right? So whenever I do planning and preparing, I focus my attention in two components. Number one is high impact. Number two is high income. So is this thing I'm putting down here as high impact, will this move the needle, right? For example, it might feel really, really good, feel like you're really productive going in there and cleaning up the whole house. And you're like, I've got to clean up the house because when I clean up the house and then I can go for the run that I said that I was going to do to get that health goal. It may feel good getting that house clean, but if you think about in the context of achieving that weight goal, if you had two things on the planning point there, one of them was get the house clean, second one was go for that jog, what's going to be high impact? Which one is going to move the needle? So we have to make sure that when we prioritize our week, we prioritize our month, we prioritize our days, that you prioritize based on high impact, high income. Is this going to make me money? Is this going to move the needle in regards to whatever goal you're choosing to focus on? And every single damn day, I always do the same, right? So on a Sunday, I do a full brain dump, right? I brain dump my whole week. I'm like, I go full meta, like a meta means like above. I go full altitude view, and I go, what are the things I'm wanting to achieve in the next 3-6 months? And I go, cool, I see all the things. And then I come down a level, I'm like, okay, great. What do I need to do this week, right? What's the one thing? If I need to do this one thing this week, it's going to push me, propel me towards my outcome. And then I go, once I get that one thing there, I go, what's the next thing? And then I end up with a whole chunk of things, right? I might have, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things that have to get done, musts. If I just get those things done, it moves a needle. So they're the first things. I have to get those done. And then every single day I do a brain dump in the morning. So in the morning I wake up and I go, boom, what do I think I need to get done? Because your brain's going to give you all these things that you think you need to get done. But the fact is, once you get them out on paper, I use Trello personally. It's a free thing you can use online. You can create columns. You can create a column that says, today's brain dump. So mine looks like this: brain dump, today, this week's musts, today's musts, done. And then I've got like an archive one all the way to the end. So you can drag and drop things. Yeah, it's really, really cool, especially if you're visual like I am. So effectively, I brain dump on a Sunday and I prioritize the week. Okay, and I don't only prioritize to about a Wednesday, to be completely honest, because things just change. But you have to be flexible, obviously, because life can happen. But then each day I'm like, great, I know how my day is going to be looking, and boom, I go, what's the one thing I can do today? If I can just get this one thing done.
One thing.
Like today, we said, what's the one thing we need to get done today? Number one thing was get this podcast done because it's late. So here we are getting this done. And then we've got another couple of things that need to be done, but we get those couple of things done, 3 things done today, boom, we're moving the needle in regards to our goals. So it's like, if you just get those things done, that's what matters.
It gives us some clarity too and stops that overwhelm.
100%. Because if you only have to focus on 3 things, it's very easy to get those things done. And the thing is too, right, and this is extremely important in regards to personal productivity, is that sometimes the thing that you need to get done doesn't necessarily feel that good, but you have to do it. And like, energetically, like you'll notice, and you'll have to do your own little assessment for you. But for me, I've got an abundance of energy in the morning up until about 1 p.m. Then I've got a bit of a lull between 1 to 2. It kicks back in around 3 to 4, 5 o'clock. Then I lull back down. My energy naturally goes down, right? So if you can figure out what your natural energy cycles are, utilize them, right?
Yep.
And also keep in mind, right, in regards, because for now we're moving into execution, but as you've done your plan, you've then taken all the things, you prioritize it based on month, based on week, then based down to days, your daily actions, your daily march. This is your daily routine, the things you do day to day to day to move the needle. You then need to execute, all right? And the way that you execute is, number one, is become very aware of what your natural energy cycles are and start to use them to your advantage. So it's like, get the thing that's the hardest needle mover done first, because that's most likely going to take the most mental energy. And like, we've only got so much mental energy every single day before we become exhausted, and you need to have like a nap.
Yep.
You know, it's like having a siesta.
Siesta, power nap.
Yeah, siesta, man, just like the Romans. Let's have an afternoon nap. I'm down for that. But yeah, you've got to respect your energy cycles, yeah? So when it comes to execution, focus on the high impact things and do the big things first, right? And like, there are going to be things that you don't necessarily want to do. They feel uncomfortable. You might be a bit fearful. So what you can do when it comes to execution, and there's a book, I suggest reading it or listening to it, called The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins. Fantastic book, right? And what it talks about doing things even though you don't feel like doing them. How can I go for that run even though it's cold outside and I don't want to? How can I, put that food down even though I really, really want to eat that chocolate? How do I take action despite the fact that I'm fearful? Because that's what courage is, right? Courage is taking action even though you're scared shitless. And a lot of people think I need to be fearless when the fact is you don't. That's irrational. It's unrealistic. You creating the life that you want, the body that you want, the relationships that you want, the business that you want, all the things that you want come from small acts of courage. And like Mel says in her book, like, she changed her life 5 seconds at a time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. The longer you take to take action on something you're thinking about doing, the more your brain will try to talk you out of it. If you give your brain the opportunity, it will always try to talk you out of taking good action.
Like pressing the snooze button in the morning.
100%. That snooze button, that's what her whole thing started with, right? She had a collapse of her life. Everything was going wrong. And the way that she dealt with it was she slept. Yeah. She didn't want to be awake. She didn't want to deal with the chaos that was her life. And one day she just saw a NASA countdown. It went 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And she had this crazy thought. She's like, geez, I'm going to try that in the morning and see if I can finally stop pressing the snooze button. And she woke up and she's like, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And she goes, holy shit, Mel, you're up. You're up, Mel. And she did. She then said that she changed her life 5 seconds at a time. And now she's had thousands upon thousands of people all around the world messaging her, emailing her, writing to her, saying just how much this 5-second rule has helped them change their lives.
Powerful.
So we count backwards, right? So you've got the priority list, yeah? You've got those big things that need to get done, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things you need to get done that day that have to get done. Everything else is just a bonus, right? And then as you look at that thing, you're like, cool, you prioritize it. So I'm going to do this one here between 9 and 12. I'm going to get this one here done at 1 p.m. I'm going to do this one here done at 5 p.m. If it's a weight goal, at 5 p.m. I'm going to do that 5 p.m. 45-minute gym class, yeah? Like, and it's 4:45, right? And you're sitting at home. You're 5 minutes away from the gym, and you're sitting on that couch, and you're like, oh, this couch is just so comfortable. Oh, I worked out so hard yesterday. My legs are sore. And then because you know you need to go to the gym. And now we're in the execution phase, yeah? Plan, prioritize, execute. You've already done the prioritization. You planned it out. Now it's time to execute. So how do you get off the couch and get to the gym and do the thing that you put into your plan? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Because the longer that you sit there thinking about it, God, I'm guilty of this. I've done it myself, okay?
Yep. Every day.
All the time. I always do it.
How I get out of bed.
Oh, man. Like, you sit there and it's like, oh, I worked out really hard yesterday. Oh, then see your brain starts going inside and finding all the reasons why it's okay for you not to go and take action and do that gym session. It's like going inside. It's like, oh, but I worked out really, really hard yesterday. I ate a salad for dinner last night. My legs are really sore. I should probably, and now by this point here, your brain's collecting all the data that's just going to support the fact that you should do nothing. And at that point there, you have to interrupt that process. And that's what the 5-second rule does. Now, when I teach this rule here, my brain works a little bit quicker than 5 seconds. So I just do 3, 2, 1, go. Me personally, feel out what you want to feel out in regards to the time frame for you. But for me, I'm like 3, 2, 1, go. And as soon as and you count backwards. Okay, if you want to find out the science about it, read the book. I'm just going to give you the high level look, 50,000 foot look. Do it because when you count backwards, that interrupts the cortex. It interrupts your overthinking. Okay, it short circuits the overthinking just long enough for you to be able to move. Okay, you go backwards because if you were going up, I could go 1, 2, 3, and then after 3's 4, and after 4's 5, and then 5, and next thing you know, it's next week, and you're still sitting there thinking about it. You go backwards because you get down to 0 and there's nowhere else to go. And instead of saying 0, say go. Go is an action word. Go is meaning go. And you say it out loud. Just go, okay. You're sitting there, you're like, it's 4:45. You have to be at the class at 5 p.m. The gym is 5 minutes away. And you're sitting there, you're like, oh, geez, I'm so exhausted. I just 3, 2, 1, go. And then you'll be up. Believe me, you'll be shocked at how quickly you will be up. And you won't even know what to do. You've interrupted a habit, right? And the way that habits work, and we'll do a habits podcast one time. The way habits work, right, is that each time we do a behavior, whether it's a thought habit, or whether it's an action behavior, some sort of like physical behavior, we effectively activate certain parts of the brain. Yeah, so certain neurology lights up. And the way I like to explain it is, imagine these habits of thought or behavior that we do the most, they've got the most neural pathways lit up. It's like you've got this superhighway that allows you to go onto this superhighway at will. So some people overthink things all the time. And like you've got this superhighway of overthinking. So if you want, and then you're not overthinking, you're just thinking just enough to get things done properly, is a goat track, right? So you need to start to divert some of that energy there, but you have to interrupt the flow. Right? You have to interrupt it and send it over here. 3, 2, 1, go. That's you interrupting that flow there. So instead of merging onto the superhighway, you've gone onto the goat track, and that's going to feel weird, right? That's going to feel super weird. But each time you do it, okay, you need to get something done. You're like 3, 2, 1, go. You're shit, I'm doing it again. Each time you do that, that's you stopping yourself going onto that superhighway, that old habit, and you going onto the goat path. The longer you stay on the goat path, the wider the path becomes. And over a period of time, you stop using that old track over there, that breaks down and disintegrates, and boom, next thing you know, your goat track becomes a super highway, and you're now the kind of person that's able to take action anytime that you want to. Plan, prioritize, execute.
It's effective, gives clarity, stops overwhelm.
It's easy. 3, 2, 1, go. 3, 2, 1, go. So, recap so we can wrap this up. I'm being cognizant of time.
Hey,
we've nailed this one. So, just to recap, we're coming into the new year, right? I'm sure that we've all got big goals, business goals, health goals, relationship goals, all the things. If you want to bridge the gap as easy as possible, use this model, P.P.E. Plan, get all the things out, right? Yep. Do I have the skills? Do I have the strategies? Am I emotionally there, right? Do I have any negative values or beliefs or programming that might stand in my way? Get it all out, right? Then take that, prioritize the actions that you're going to do, map it out into, months, weeks, every single day, create your daily march, your daily routine, and then boom, execute. And how the damn hell do you execute? 3, 2, 1, go. 3, 2, 1, go. Because if you wait till you feel like doing something, you'll never fucking do it. You have to do it. The way you do it is you look at the plan, right, in its prioritized state, and you go, okay, boom, it's 1 p.m. That's what I'm doing right now. 3, 2, 1, go. You fucking do it, all right? I've got to make a sales call. Okay, fucking anyway, boom. You just do it. And believe me, over a period of time, what's going to happen is you're going to become, your character will become the kind of person that takes action on the things that move the needle. That's who you will become, okay? And that's where the magic happens.
That's it.
Anyway, this was short and sharp. It's been a pleasure talking to you again. Once again, if you love this episode, you love watching us talk smack, then please go ahead and subscribe, share this with friends, share this to anyone that needs to actually, get a kick up the butt and get things done. And we'll see you next week for the next podcast. Take care, much love, and we'll speak soon. Bye.